Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Afrikaans ebook before it's gone.
Hi guys, it's me Christine. Welcome to AfrikaansPod101.com, and today's lesson is 10 phrases to amaze native speakers. So these are the ones that, like obviously you've been practicing your Afrikaans on the natives and they're like, wow, you're actually really good at Afrikaans. And then you pull these guys out the bag and they're like, whoa, where do they learn Afrikaans? And then you have to tell them AfrikaansPod101.com. But so let's get started.
Dankie, maar ek is eintlik nie 'n moedertaalspreker nie. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually.
Dankie, maar ek is eintlik nie 'n moedertaalspreker nie. Dankie, maar ek is eintlik nie 'n moedertaalspreker nie. Thank you, but I'm not a native speaker actually. So that's the perfect one because it's a little bit of a contradiction. You're going like, I'm not a mother language person, but you're saying it in such good Afrikaans that they're like, but is she not, is he not, what? So it's always a good one to remember, especially if you want to just like back chat a compliment, because we're all a little bit awkward when people give us compliments. So it's a great one to learn.
Dit het my net 1 jaar gevat om vlot te praat. It took me only 1 year to become fluent.
Dit het my net 1 jaar gevat om vlot te praat. Dit het my net 1 jaar gevat om vlot te praat. It took me only 1 year to become fluent. Well, if that's the case, then congratulations, because it's actually really hard to become fluent in a language, especially if we haven't been learning since we were very little. And people always say it takes much longer to learn a language when you're a bit older. But I guess if you immerse yourself in the country, in the language, and you go stay there and only speak that to the locals and see how they react to you, it could only take a year. And if that's you, congratulations, it's really well done.
Ek sal Afrikaans soos mense wat Afrikaans as moedertaal praat in 3 jaar kan praat. I'll speak Afrikaans like a native speaker in 3 years.
Ek sal Afrikaans soos mense wat Afrikaans as moedertaal praat in 3 jaar kan praat. Ek sal Afrikaans soos mense wat Afrikaans as moedertaal praat in 3 jaar kan praat. I'll speak Afrikaans like a native in 3 years. So like I just said, if it didn't take you a year, don't worry, you're quite normal. If it takes you 3 years, even that's quite great to sound like a native speaker. But the point is that there's no timeline for learning a language, because I believe that you'll always continue learning. Even I'm fluent in Afrikaans, but that doesn't mean I'm still learning every day. There's always words think about your own language, your mother tongue, and think about the last time you learned a new word. And then if you can't remember it, why don't you just go into a dictionary and just open the page randomly and find a word? And I bet you'll find at least one word that you haven't known before. So even if you can speak it like a native in 3 years or be fluent in 1 year, don't stop. Just keep learning, because we can always just keep going up.
Ek leer al Afrikaans vir 10 jaar. I've been learning Afrikaans for 10 years.
Ek leer al Afrikaans vir 10 jaar. Ek leer al Afrikaans vir 10 jaar. I've been learning Afrikaans for 10 years. Well, there we go, even longer. I mean, like I just said, it takes a lifetime to really fully understand a language usually. And I don't actually believe anyone really does. So if you just keep going, persevering, and keep improving every day, just learn new vocabulary, watch a movie in the language, and try pick up on different sayings or little colloquialisms. If it takes you 1 year, 3 years, or if you've been learning for 10 jaar, great, keep going. I'm loving the perseverance.
Ek kan Afrikaanse flieks kyk sonder onderskrifte. I can watch Afrikaans movies without subtitles.
Ek kan Afrikaanse flieks kyk sonder onderskrifte. Ek kan Afrikaanse flieks kyk sonder onderskrifte. I can watch Afrikaans movies without subtitles. Well, that's really, really impressive. I remember the first time I learned a foreign language and I watched a movie in the language, and I always had to read the subtitles to really understand what was going on. And then this one time, there was no subtitles, but I really wanted to watch the movie. So I was like, oh, okay, Christine, just do it. Just watch it. And I could kind of follow it and like catch the gist of the scenes. And I was like, wow, I've made it. So if you can watch an Afrikaans movie without onderskrifte, congratulations. Let us know in the comments so we can all congratulate you. Well done.
Ek kan omtrent 50 woorde in Afrikaans 'n dag memoriseer. I can memorize around 50 new Afrikaans words a day.
Ek kan omtrent 50 woorde in Afrikaans 'n dag memoriseer. Ek kan omtrent 50 woorde in Afrikaans 'n dag memoriseer. I can memorize around 50 new Afrikaans words a day. Well, then you're a genius. Like, that's a lot of words. If you can do that, maybe change the number if you want to remember the sentence for a friend. Or if you're hanging out with some local Afrikaans speaking people and you want to just impress them a little bit, like, go for it. But 50 is quite a lot and it probably takes a lot of practicing. But if you can do that, that's awesome. Like I said before, it's really great if you can learn new vocabulary every day and then also try to use them in the next day's speech. Like memoriseer. It's a nice word to say. I like it a lot. So I'm going to try say it a lot today and probably annoy the people around me. But like doing that is quite fun because then the people around you also start remembering that word and they can help you learn even faster.
Ek leer Afrikaans op my eie. I'm learning Afrikaans all by myself.
Ek leer Afrikaans op my eie. Ek leer Afrikaans op my eie. I'm learning Afrikaans all by myself. Oh, well, congratulations. It's really good. I mean, if you're learning Afrikaans all by yourself, it means you're really, really motivated, which is obviously awesome. And you can't really say that because you're learning it with us, afrikaanspod101.com. So even if you're learning it op jou eie, it's really great, but try find a little community where you know other people who are doing it as well, because that way you can practice with them, share stories, share experiences. I mean, it's always really nice when you're really struggling to pronounce a word or something and then someone else comes and they're like, oh, I could never pronounce this word, but then I found out that you can just do this and whatever with your mouth, and voila, now they can say it. So it's always nice to learn little tips from other people. But if you are learning op jou eie on your own, it's okay. Like, it's really great just learning in the first place. So enjoy.
Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. I completely understood everything you said.
Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. I completely understood everything you said. This is the best one to learn out of all of these. If you pinpoint this one and remember it, it's such a great one. It makes you have such a little internal giggle sometimes. It's such a nice thing when you know a language that the people around you don't know, but your friends with you do know, and you can like gossip a little bit, or you can be like, oh, let's do this tonight or whatever, and everyone around you doesn't know what you're saying. But the funniest thing is when someone else is doing that about you, but you can understand their language, and then you just look at them and you go, Ek verstaan alles wat jy gesê het. And then they'll be like, sorry, like, we didn't mean to gossip. We didn't mean to say that your shoes aren't that great or that your hair is looking a bit funny or whatever. I don't know, whatever they were saying. Saying that, back-chatting that way in their own language will give them a little bit of a shock and hopefully not make them say bad things about other people. Which is not what I meant when I said it's good to know the language that other people don't know. I just meant like it's fun to play tricks on your friends and stuff, but it's not nice to say bad things. So don't do that. But come back with that if people do that.
Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal. I can translate that in Afrikaans.
Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal. Ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal. I can translate that in Afrikaans. This one's also super useful. I mean, if you're in South Africa or any other language any other country where they speak Afrikaans, it's such a nice thing. Say now you're on an airport and there's someone that really doesn't understand English or another language that you possibly do understand. You can just, step in, give a little helping hand, even to a stranger, and just be like, ek kan dit in Afrikaans vertaal, and translate it to them in Afrikaans so that they can make their day a bit nicer their journey a bit easier, and you just feel great because you've done something, you've used your Afrikaans in a positive way, and you've practiced a little bit with a local and helped them. So, yeah.
Ek is mal oor Afrikaans. I'm crazy about Afrikaans.
Ek is mal oor Afrikaans. Ek is mal oor Afrikaans. I'm crazy about Afrikaans. This is such a fun one because when you are practicing and you say to your Afrikaans friends like, I have been learning a little bit of Afrikaans, this is what I can say so far, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, but that's really weird. Why did you decide to do Afrikaans? And you can be like, because ek is mal oor Afrikaans. And they'll be like, oh, ha, 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 that's very funny that you can answer back in Afrikaans. And they'll be very impressed with you. Not just because you can answer them back in Afrikaans, but also because you are crazy about their language. Who doesn't love to hear that? So we've reached the end of today's lesson, 10 ways to impress native speakers. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'm Christine with AfrikaansPod101.com. Let us know in the comments below how you felt or any experiences that you've had. Subscribe and like our channel and keep learning Afrikaans.
For some, learning a new language seems to come naturally. For others, the entire process feels more like a tooth and nail struggle. However, if you've had a negative experience learning a new language at one point in time, don't let that discourage you from trying again. The truth is that learning any language is never easy, but it's definitely possible. Sometimes the difference between success and failure has less to do with your abilities or talents and a lot more to do with the way you look at things. In this video, we're going to look at how to avoid 5 serious mistakes made by new language learners. Number 1, listen before you speak. Being slow to speak and quick to listen is good life advice, whether or not you're learning a foreign language. Effective listening is essential to communication. As a beginner, there is a tendency to concentrate so much on what you're going to say and how you're going to say it that you can completely miss the meaning or heart of what the other person is trying to communicate. Not only will this impair your ability to listen in your target language, it will also stall what little conversation you had going. Remember that conversations are a two-way street. If you're speaking more than listening, then you actually have more of a monologue on your hands than a dialogue. The inputs of language learning, listening and reading, are just as important as the outputs, speaking and writing. For a beginner, inputs are even more crucial, as they are the main way you acquire new vocabulary. We even go so far to say that for new students, the best method for learning involves more listening than it does speaking, though that may change with higher proficiency levels. Number 2, don't be embarrassed when you do speak. People's next mistake usually comes from the other side of the spectrum, where new learners are too scared or embarrassed to contribute to a conversation. The fear of making mistakes and embarrassing yourself can paralyze your language learning. It's vital to remember that everyone makes mistakes. Even native speakers had to find their way through the language when they were children. Making mistakes while learning a new language is inevitable, but it's also a good thing. The faster you make mistakes, the quicker you can correct them and move on with your learning. So instead of being afraid to make mistakes, try looking at them as steps towards progress. In reality, that's what they really are. Number 3, don't fixate on minor issues. If taken in all at once, a new language can feel overwhelming to learn. It's so easy to get discouraged by all your little mistakes and conversational mishaps, and you lose sight of the progress you're making. In addition to mistakes, you'll also come across plateaus, where you study and practice consistently but don't see any results for a significant amount of time. But whether you face errors or plateaus, remember that these things are minor obstacles on the road to fluency. The most important thing is not to give up. Stick with it. If you stay persistent, your mistakes will be corrected and your abilities will improve. But if you slow down or throw in the towel completely, then you'll either subvert your progress or nix it altogether. So remember that as long as you're still studying and learning the language, you can't lose. It might feel like you're losing the battle for language learning for a little while, but hang in there. A practical way to help you stay motivated is to make small weekly goals. Research shows that goal setting has a significant impact on learning. Try picking one aspect of grammar or a collection of new words or phrases to study for the next 7 days. At the end of the week, check your progress and measure your success. Setting little benchmarks like this will give you a rightful sense of accomplishment. Number 4, remember that immersion isn't magical. A lot of people think that by moving to a foreign country, they will learn the language by osmosis. But whether you learn abroad or at home, you still need to study and practice the language. Living in a new country gives you way more opportunities to do this than staying at home. But if you don't consciously take advantage of these opportunities while living abroad, it won't benefit your language learning. If you're an expat living in a foreign country, there's a natural inclination to hang out around other expats. Learning a language and living in a foreign culture is hard and uncomfortable. For better or worse, we're often drawn to the easier road. If you made the decision to study abroad, then you want to hang out with native-speaking people as much as possible. You have the rest of your life to be with people who speak your language. This doesn't mean ignore your expat friends. Just be sure that you're giving proper attention to your language learning. Languages are better lived than they are learned. Number 5, be open-minded. Languages are better lived than they are learned. When learning a new language, your brain will want to conform the new grammar and vocabulary to your native language norms and grammar rules. Ignore your brain on this one. At first, you might feel completely wrong saying a sentence that is in fact correct. After a certain point in language learning, there is a switch that goes off, when your brain finally realizes that you're not speaking your native language, but a new one altogether. This could take a while though, especially if this is your first time learning a new language. Until then, do what you know is correct, even if it feels a bit weird when you say it. The same goes for culture. Just as you want to be open to the differences in the language, don't forget to be open to the differences in the culture too. Hopefully this video helped you shift your thinking and approach language learning in a way that will help you become fluent faster. And that you'll learn to enjoy the journey towards fluency and savor the language for its own sake. That's probably the biggest language learning secret there is. And for even more ways to get started learning a new language, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! So, you decided to learn a new language. At first, the idea seemed exciting. You bought a phrasebook, dictionary, and a subscription to an online class, ready to dive headfirst into the language. For the first day or two, all was well. You gained ground quickly, learning a few basic phrases and words. A week before, learning that language was just a dream, but now you're actually doing it. Then, the third and fourth day roll around. The excitement is wearing off. You encouraged yourself to continue, and another week or two goes by, but with a lot less progress. Suddenly, learning a new language doesn't fill you with excitement anymore. Now it feels more like dread. Sometimes it feels like you're drowning in grammatical cases, verb conjugations, and wonky pronunciation. It all seems too much to handle, so you start to think about giving up. But we encourage you not to give up. Learning a foreign language is difficult. We won't pretend like it isn't. But that doesn't mean you can't do it. Sometimes you just need to take a step back, reevaluate your approach, and come back to the language with a different perspective. In this video, we'll look at 4 tips for when learning a new language feels overwhelming. Number 1, set aside a designated study time. Consistency is key when learning a foreign language. Studying 15 minutes 7 days a week will benefit you more than cramming in 2 hours 1 day a week. Set aside an amount of time that works best for you. If you can afford to spend an hour every day learning, that's awesome. Go for it. But don't feel bad if you can't spend that much time. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day goes a long way. Breaking up your learning into manageable time segments will relieve a lot of the stress that can come with studying a new language. Learning is not a race. Go at your own pace and try not to compare your progress with anyone else's. Number 2, take it one bite at a time. Now that you have your schedule under control, it's time to focus on what you'll actually be studying. It's recommended that every 1 to 2 weeks you focus on learning a very specific piece of the language. It could be a conjugation group, a case, tense, or a collection of theme vocabulary. Whatever you choose, hone in on it and do your best to feel comfortable with it before you move on to something else. Ever heard the saying, "How do you eat an elephant?" Focusing on one thing at a time helps you break the language into digestible chunks. Number 3, expose yourself to the language in different ways. Don't just sit around reading about grammar all day. Obviously, knowledge of grammar is important, but you want to spice up your practice as much as possible. In addition to grammatical study, try to mix in a combination of reading, writing, speaking, and listening. Try to practice reading by either translating a simple article into your native language, or maybe if you're a beginner, pick up a children's book in your target language. For writing, you can try to write out a fictional conversation between you and yourself, even. Use the phrases you know to create a mock conversation, and don't use any words you can't think of or you don't remember. To practice speaking, you can find native speakers locally at a language club or at a meetup. You can also find them online in a language exchange. For listening, a great podcast should do the trick. Spread out each type of practice, listening, reading, speaking, and writing, across your regular language study schedule. This will give you a balanced experience in the language and should help keep things interesting. This method also works well when you use it to focus on a single aspect of the language like we talked about above. Number 4, set mini goals, not just big ones. If your only language learning goal is to be fluent, you're likely setting yourself up for disappointment. While speaking fluently can be your ultimate goal, it shouldn't be your only one. Try to set mini goals month by month and week by week. It could be something simple. Learn 20 new verbs, practice a new case, or speak with 3 native speakers. As long as it's specific and reasonable to achieve in a shorter amount of time, it should work fine. Not having mini goals alongside your ultimate goal is a lot like sprinting across a huge open field. There's no reference point, so for much of the time it feels like you're not any closer to your goal. It's not that you're not moving forward, it just feels like you're not. Without any trees or buildings to run past, it seems like you're running in place. Mini goals are like the trees and buildings of your language race. They help you see that you're moving forward and give you a sense of accomplishment. The desire for perfection can get in the way of your progress. Don't freak out when you struggle to speak or make a mistake. It's all a part of the learning process. Also, don't be afraid to speak, even if you know what you'll say won't be totally correct. It's better to do your best to communicate in the language and get it wrong than to never try at all. Learning a new language isn't always easy. In fact, oftentimes it's very hard. Don't let that discourage you, though. Use these tips to help keep you focused yet unstressed in your language learning. A little perseverance will go a long way. Before long, you'll be speaking better than you may have thought was possible. And for even more help learning a new language without getting overwhelmed, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye! Want to speak your target language with confidence and impress native speakers? When learning to speak a new language, you have lots of things to think about, including grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Because you're thinking of all of these things and trying to speak, it can be difficult to communicate with confidence, especially in the beginning. This is why it's helpful to make confidence-building exercises part of your language learning process. In this video, you'll learn 7 ways to boost your confidence. 1. Read out loud. This might seem pretty basic, but it's a great way to practice speaking. Reading aloud lets you practice speaking without having to think about grammar or things to talk about. Reading out loud lets you focus on your pronunciation and the rhythm of the language. It can help you learn to speak more smoothly and quickly, without even thinking about it. If you're using our lessons, read the dialogue out loud as you listen. You can read along with the dialogue tool, the lesson notes, or the transcript. 2. Read like a child. This might sound strange, but think about children learning to read. They go slow and sound everything out. Maybe it takes 2 or 3 tries before they read a new word smoothly, and a few more tries before they can read it at a natural pace. This example applies to language learning too. If you find a complex sentence in something you're reading, read it slowly at first, then speed up. With practice, you'll be able to say it easily. It might feel a bit silly to speak very slowly, but this kind of practice can help you identify tough sounds you might miss or say incorrectly when reading quickly. 3. Use the dialogue breakdown tool. If you're using our site, this is a great tool to take advantage of. It breaks down lesson conversations into individual lines. You can listen to the audio for each line, learn what each line means, and can reread and review as much as you want. 4. Use the voice recorder to record and compare yourself with native speakers. Just click on the microphone icon next to each line in the dialogue section. You can use this tool to perfect your pronunciation if you like, but this is also something you can use to work on speaking with confidence at native level speed. You'll find this tool in the dialogue section of all of our lessons. 5. Repeat and review old lesson conversations. Reviewing what you've studied in the past is the best way to make sure you maintain what you've learned. Go back to older lessons, download the lesson dialogue tracks, and re-listen to the conversations again and again. Or you can reread the dialogue lines from previous lessons until you've mastered them all. 6. Shadow conversations. Repeat what you hear out loud. This tactic is important, but it can be tricky when you're doing a brand new lesson. If you're reviewing dialogues from lessons you've done though, it's super easy to do. Just listen to the dialogue and repeat what you hear. Shadowing means mimicking the speaker as soon as they speak, following their intonation and rhythms as closely as possible. 7. Send recordings to your Premium Plus teacher. If you want to speak with confidence, there's no better confidence boost than feedback from a native speaker, and you get just that with a Premium Plus teacher. You can record yourself reciting a lesson dialogue or any dialogue of your own, and your teacher will give you specific tips on how to improve. From the tips your teacher gives you, choose at least one and practice, practice, practice. Being able to react quickly and with confidence in a conversation is typically not something you can do on your first try, but if you continue practicing, you'll gradually find yourself speaking with ease. And for even more ways to build your speaking confidence, check out our complete language learning program. Sign up for your free lifetime account by clicking on the link in the description. Get tons of resources to have you speaking in your target language. And if you enjoyed these tips, hit the like button, share the video with anyone who's trying to learn a new language, and subscribe to our channel. We release new videos every week. I'll see you next time. Bye!
Hello, it's Christine, and we're here to do some Afrikaans today in the lesson 10 Things You Always Want to Hear. So we're all excited about this one, obviously, because I'm going to be telling you things that you want to hear. Jy lyk goed vandag. You look good today. Jy lyk goed vandag. You look good today. What's that? Oh, thanks. I just assumed that you returned the compliment, but it's always something that we really like to hear, especially if it's coming from that person that we've got our eye on. But it's also just nice to tell people, if you walk past someone and you think they're looking good, let them know that they look like goed vandag, because it's always nice to make someone else's day. Ek mis jou. I miss you. Ek mis jou. I miss you. Long lost friends, long lost lovers, parents in different countries, whatever. Today's world, we're all over the globe. Our friends live in China, our brother lives in England. Today it's really common to know people that live really, really far away from us, and it's nice to sometimes receive a message saying, oh, they miss you, but it's also really nice to send a message to let someone know that you miss them. So get that phone out, think about that friend, and let them know, ek mis jou. Jy het 'n goeie werk gedoen. You did a great job. Jy het 'n goeie werk gedoen. You did a great job. That's always the best one you want to hear at school or at work, because it means that you're on the right track, you're doing something good, and at the end of the day, you might get rewarded. Daar sal 'n bonus aan die einde van die maand wees. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. Daar sal 'n bonus aan die einde van die maand wees. There will be a bonus at the end of the month. If, like I said before, jy doen goeie werk, then maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, it means you're going to get that bonus at the end of the month and you can go on that extra long Christmas holiday this year. So, keep up the goeie werk. Jy is 'n uitstekende kok. You're an excellent cook. Jy is 'n uitstekende kok. You're an excellent cook. Now, that's one that you want to say for when your parents come over for dinner for the first time in your new flat, or you're inviting that boy over that you've had your eye on. and you're cooking them a fancy dinner, and it's the first time that you're using this new saucepan you bought yesterday, and they tell you that, and just, oh, what a relief. The food was great, the guy thinks it's great, or your parents think it's great. Anyone is happy to know that their food is good, because it means that you're going to get to enjoy it the most, because you get to have your food every night. Vat 'n breek, ek sal vandag skoonmaak. Take a break, I'll do the cleaning today. Vat 'n breek, ek sal vandag skoonmaak. Take a break, I'll do the cleaning today. That's the best to hear from your partner or your parents or your flatmate. What a great day it is when you get to just lounge on the sofa, watch some TV, catch up on those sports, do anything you want, even some painting or crafting. If you don't have to do the cleaning up, make a mess. No jokes, be nice, because next time it is your turn and then you're going to have to clean up someone else's mess. So just enjoy the day off. Enjoy it when someone tells you that they'll be doing the cleaning, because next minute it'll be your turn again. En jy wen, and you win. En jy wen, and you win. Whatever you're doing, whether it's Saturday night and you're playing board games or you're playing card games on the beach with some friends, it's always a great one to hear that you're the winner, because it means that you did your best and you won. So you've earned it. Jy was reg. You were right. Jy was reg. You were right. You won that argument. You were right when you said that this was the case and they said that was the case. It's such a nice feeling. You get all bubbly inside when someone you've been arguing with or just made a point tells you that you were right. It's like the I told you so, and it's the best feeling ever. Who doesn't love that? Ek het jou iets besonders gebring. I brought you something special. Ek het jou iets besonders gebring. I brought you something special. What an exciting thing to hear. You've just come home, you've had a really long day, and your friend's coming over, and they tell you that they bought you something besonders. How exciting. Open it up straight away, and just remember, if you don't like it, still look surprised, because they think it's besonders. Die begroting is onbeperk. The budget is unlimited. Die begroting is onbeperk. The budget is unlimited. You've got an unlimited budget, an onbeperkte begroting, to do whatever you want to make this party, this function, this shebang the best one there is, because you've got everything you need. You can get anything you want. Go crazy and enjoy it while it lasts, because it doesn't come around often. So we've come to the end of today's session of 10 things you always want to hear. There's obviously plenty more things that we always want to hear, so let us know in the comments below if you like to hear these things or if they irritate you. Hopefully not, because they're quite nice things to hear. But if you agree with some of them, if someone recently told you them, and let us know how you felt, because that would be really cool to let other people feel that joy that you felt as well. So like, comment, subscribe, and keep visiting our channel, afrikaanspod101.com. Hello, I'm back. It's me, Christine, and today's lesson, the 10 hardest words to pronounce in Afrikaans. So it's going to be a difficult one, and remember to get those mouth muscles moving, because we're going to be using them quite a bit in this lesson today. Goeie. Goeie. Good. Dit is goeie nuus. That is good news. This one's hard to say because it's got the sound that's so popular in Afrikaans language. Just pretend that you're really angry or irritated at something and you're going, ugh, and then keep that sound and go, goeie, goeie. And it's a goeie thing to learn it because it's used all the time. Nuus. Nuus. News. Ek het baie goeie nuus. I have very good news. I hope you have very goeie nuus to tell me, because if you do, it means you've learned the ch and the nuus, which is what makes that word a bit harder than others. So this one is u. You're making this weird shape with your mouth. U. Goeie nuus. Gebruik. Gebruik. Use. Kan ek jou kar gebruik? Can I use your car? This one's a little bit as awkward as that question, because really want to give someone else your car just in case something happens, but you do because you're a nice person and they're your friend. So this is that word. You really want to learn it because it's the word for using any word. So the word is gebruik, the sound as before, and now we've added a new sound, oi, gebruik. Rak, shelf. Die rak is full stof. The shelf is full of dust. This word it doesn't have the that we've been talking about, but now we've got a new sound in Afrikaans that a lot of people in different languages struggle with a little bit, and it's the rrr, as if your tongue is jumping up and down in your mouth. Rrr, rak. Môre, morning. Ek gaan môre kom kuier. I'm going to come visit tomorrow. This one has a r like before. It's a little bit easier, but you have to remember to read môre, because in English it's spelled like more. So don't say more, say môre. And the older generations of Afrikaans people, they might say it a little bit differently, and they sometimes say môre, but it's more commonly used as môre. Lekker. Nice, delicious. Die kos is baie lekker. This food is very nice. This word is a must. You must learn how to say this word. Lekker. Because it is used all the time in South Africa. Everything is lekker. Not just the course that we were just talking about. The weather is lekker. The party was lekker. The drink is lekker. My friends are lekker. It's just a word that we use all the time. So it's definitely lekker to know the word lekker. Roll. Die pen het gerol. The pen rolled. This one is funny because roll, all you have to do is roll your tongue on your mouth, so it makes the r sound like before. Roll. It's quite nice to say, actually, if you say it a couple of times in a row. Roll. Gek. Crazy. Die man is gek om te spring. The man is crazy to jump. You're saying that because you're watching some bungee jumping show or someone jumping out of an airplane. They are gek. And gek is also a bit of a gek word to know because it's like the sound and the ek, which means me. So it's like you're saying you are gek, but you're not really. But it's a gek word. It's a gek lekker word. Crazy nice word. Lach. Laugh. Ek lag elke dag vir my hond. I laugh at my dog every day. Lach is such a lekker word. To laugh it's the greatest thing ever. So it's important to learn this word because maybe learning how to say it will make you laugh, and then you'll have a happy memory and remember the word, and it's a win-win situation. Raas. Noise. Die bure raas baie. The neighbors are very noisy. Just like me sitting here in the park today, where there's a lot of people around me having picnics and everything, and there's quite a lot of noise going on, but at least the raas isn't too much for me to make this lovely video and teach you some Afrikaans. So raas. So we've made it to the end of the 10 hardest words to pronounce in Afrikaans. If you haven't managed them, that's okay. They're very hard, and like I said, they're the 10 hardest. So keep on trying, keep using that mouth and say all those things, say it weirdly in the mirror. Look at your mouth when you're saying them, and that sometimes helps because it helps your muscle memory to remember how to do them. And if you know any other words that you found that are hard to pronounce, put them in the comments below. Like these videos, please subscribe, and just keep learning Afrikaans with afrikaanspod101.com.
A table for 5.
'n tafel vir 5. 'n tafel vir 5.
Absolutely.
Obsolet.
All right.
Als reg.
Are you all right?
Is alles reg? Is alles reg?
Are you on Facebook?
Is jy op Facebook? Is jy op Facebook?
Awesome.
Asemrowend. Asemrowend.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Can I borrow this?
Kan ek hierdie leen? Kan ek hierdie leen? Can I have a bag, please?
Kan ek 'n sak kry, asseblief? Kan ek 'n sak kry, asseblief?
Can I have a receipt, please?
Kan ek 'n kwitansie hê, asseblief? Kan ek 'n kwitansie hê, asseblief?
Can I sit here?
Kan ek hier sit? Kan ek hier sit?
Can I try it on?
Kan ek dit aanpas? Kan ek dit aanpas?
Can you download this file?
Kan jy hierdie leer aflaai? Kan jy hierdie leer aflaai?
Check.
Check. Check.
Congratulations.
Veels geluk. Veels geluk.
Could I have your attention, please?
Kan ek jou aandag hê, asseblief? Kan ek jou aandag hê, asseblief?
Delicious.
Heerlik. Heerlik.
Do you need anything?
Het jy iets nodig? Het jy iets nodig?
Do you speak English?
Praat jy Engels? Praat jy Engels?
Do you understand?
Verstaan jy? Verstaan jy?
Does this bus go to?
Gaan die bus na? Gaan die bus na?
Don't do it.
Moet dit nie doen nie. Moet dit nie doen nie.
Don't mention it.
Dit is niks nie. Dit is niks nie.
Don't worry.
Moenie bekommerd wees nie. Moenie bekommerd wees nie.
Everything is great.
Alles is wonderlik. Alles is wonderlik.
Excuse me, do you know where the is?
Verskoon my, weet jy waar die is? Verskoon my, weet jy waar die is?
Excuse me.
Verskoon my. Verskoon my.
Go straight ahead.
Gaan reguit aan. Gaan reguit aan.
Good afternoon.
Goeiedag. Goeiedag.
Good evening.
Goeienaand. Goeienaand.
Good morning.
Goeiemôre. Goeiemôre.
Good night.
Goeienag. Goeienag.
Goodbye.
Totsiens. Totsiens.
Happy birthday.
Gelukkige verjaarsdag. Gelukkige verjaarsdag.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Help.
Help. Help.
Hi.
Hello. Hello.
Hold on.
Hou vas. Hou vas.
How are you?
Hoe gaan dit met jou? Hoe gaan dit met jou?
How do I get to the?
Hoe kom ek by die uit? Hoe kom ek by die uit?
How do you do?
Hoe gaan dit met jou? Hoe gaan dit met jou?
How do you pronounce this?
Hoe spreek jy dit uit? Hoe spreek jy dit uit?
How have you been?
Hoe gaan dit met jou? Hoe gaan dit met jou?
How is it?
Who is it? Who is it? How is your mother?
Hoe gaan dit met jou ma? Hoe gaan dit met jou ma?
How long will you stay?
Hoe lank sal jy vertoef? Hoe lank sal jy vertoef?
How many people are there in your family?
Hoeveel mense is daar in jou familie? Hoeveel mense is daar in jou familie?
How much is it to?
Hoeveel is dit? Hoeveel is dit?
How much is this?
Hoeveel kost dit? Hoeveel kost dit?
How much?
Hoeveel? Hoeveel?
How old are you?
Hoe oud is jy? Hoe oud is jy?
How is your day?
Hoe was jouw dag? Hoe was jouw dag?
How's the weather?
Hoe is die weer? Hoe is die weer?
Hurry up. Maak gou. Maak gou.
I don't like it.
Ek hou nie daarvan nie. Ek hou nie daarvan nie.
I don't understand.
Ek verstaan dit nie. Ek verstaan dit nie.
I like it.
Ek hou van dit. Ek hou van dit.
I live in.
Ek bly in. Ek bly in.
I lost my phone.
Ek het my selfoon verloor. Ek het my selfoon verloor.
I need.
Ek benodig. Ek benodig.
I need to go to the.
Ek moet na die gaan. Ek moet na die gaan.
I understand.
Ek verstaan. Ek verstaan.
I'd like this.
Ek sal daarvan hou. Ek sal daarvan hou.
I'll have this.
Ek sal dit hê. Ek sal dit hê.
I'll have time next week.
Ek sal tyd hê volgende week. Ek sal tyd hê volgende week.
I'm.
Ek is. Ek is.
I'm allergic to shrimp.
Ek is allergies vir garnale. Ek is allergies vir garnale.
I'm at home.
Ek is by die huis. Ek is by die huis.
I'm busy this week.
Ek is besig hierdie week. Ek is besig hierdie week.
I'm fine.
Ek is goed. Ek is goed.
I'm from. Ek is van. Ek is van.
I'm full.
Ek is vol. Ek is vol.
I'm good.
Ek is goed. Ek is goed.
I'm hungry.
Ek's honger. Ek's honger.
I'm looking forward to working with you.
Ek sien uit daarna om saam jou te werk. Ek sien uit daarna om saam jou te werk.
I'm sorry I'm late.
Ek is jammer dat ek laat is. Ek is jammer dat ek laat is.
I'm sorry.
Ek is jammer. Ek is jammer.
Is that it?
Is dit dit? Is dit dit?
Is that far from here?
Is die ver van hier af? Is die ver van hier af?
Is there a near here?
Is daar 'n naby hier? Is daar 'n naby hier?
It was nice to meet you.
Dit was lekker om jou te ontmoet. Dit was lekker om jou te ontmoet.
It's difficult.
Dit is moeilik. Dit is moeilik.
It's okay.
Reg so. Reg so.
It's really good.
Dit is regtig lekker. Dit is regtig lekker.
It's sunny.
Dit is sonnig. Dit is sonnig.
It's true.
Dit is waar. Dit is waar.
I've heard a lot about you.
Ek het baie oor jou gehoor. Ek het baie oor jou gehoor.
Just a minute, please.
Net 'n minuut, asseblief. Net 'n minuut, asseblief.
Long time no see.
Lank laas gesien. Lank laas gesien.
Make yourself at home.
Maak jouself tuis. Maak jouself tuis.
May I help you?
Kan ek jou help? Kan ek jou help?
May I sit here?
Mag ek hier sit? Mag ek hier sit? My mother is well.
My moeder se welstand is goed. My moeder se welstand is goed.
My name is. My naam is. My naam is.
Nice to meet you.
Aangename kennis. Aangename kennis.
No problem.
Geen probleem. Geen probleem.
No.
Nee. Nee.
Of course not.
Natuurlijk nie. Natuurlijk nie.
Of course.
Natuurlijk. Natuurlijk.
Once again, please.
Nog een keer asseblief. Nog een keer asseblief.
Please forgive me.
Vergewe my asseblief. Vergewe my asseblief.
Please have a seat.
Sit gerus, asseblief. Sit gerus, asseblief.
Please write it down.
Skryf dit asseblief neer. Skryf dit asseblief neer.
Please. Asseblief. Asseblief.
Really?
Regtig? Regtig?
Same for me.
Dieselfde vir my. Dieselfde vir my.
Shut up.
Bly stil. Bly stil.
Slower, please.
Stadiger asseblief. Stadiger asseblief.
So, what's new?
So, wat's niet? So, wat's niet?
Sorry to keep you waiting.
Jammer om jou te laat wag. Jammer om jou te laat wag.
Sounds great.
Klink goed. Klink goed.
Stop here, please.
Stop hier asseblief. Stop hier asseblief.
Thank you very much.
Baie dankie. Baie dankie.
Thank you.
Dankie. Dankie.
Thanks.
Dankie. Dankie.
That jacket looks nice on you.
Die baadjie lyk mooi aan jou. Die baadjie lyk mooi aan jou.
This is for you.
Dit is vir jou. Dit is vir jou.
This weekend I'm going to the movies.
Hierdie naweek het ek gaan fliek. Hierdie naweek het ek gaan fliek. Welcome.
Welkom. Welkom.
We're meeting someone.
Ons ontmoet iemand. Ons ontmoet iemand.
What are you doing here?
Wat doen jy hier? Wat doen jy hier?
What are you doing this weekend?
Wat doen jy die naweek? Wat doen jy die naweek?
What are you doing?
Wat maak jy? Wat maak jy?
What do you do? Wat doen jy? Wat doen jy?
What do you feel like eating?
Wat is jy lus om te eet? Wat is jy lus om te eet?
What do you recommend?
Wat stel jy voor? Wat stel jy voor?
What do you want?
Wat wil jy hê? Wat wil jy hê?
What happened?
Wat het gebeur? Wat het gebeur?
What time does it open?
Watter tyd maak dit oop? Watter tyd maak dit oop?
What time is it?
Wat is die tyd? Wat is die tyd?
What would you like to drink?
Wil jy graag iets sê om te drink? Wil jy graag iets sê om te drink?
What's for dinner?
Wat is vir aandete? Wat is vir aandete?
What's the next stop?
Wat is die volgende stop? Wat is die volgende stop?
What's the temperature?
Wat is die temperatuur? Wat is die temperatuur?
What's this?
Wat is dit? Wat is dit?
What's wrong?
Wat is fout? Wat is fout?
What's your favorite website?
Wat is jou gunsteling webwerf? Wat is jou gunsteling webwerf?
What's your name?
Wat is jou naam? Wat is jou naam?
When is your birthday?
Wanneer is jou verjaarsdag? Wanneer is jou verjaarsdag?
When will the plane leave?
Wanneer vertrek die vliegtuig? Wanneer vertrek die vliegtuig?
Where are we going?
Waarheen is ons op pad? Waarheen is ons op pad?
Where are you from?
Waar is jy vandaan? Waar is jy vandaan?
Where do you live?
Waar woon jy? Waar woon jy?
Where do you work?
Waar werk jy? Waar werk jy?
Where is it?
Waar is dit? Waar is dit?
Where is the?
Waar is die? Waar is die?
Where is the bathroom?
Waar is die badkamer? Waar is die badkamer?
Who is it?
Wie is dit? Wie is dit?
Who's going?
Wie gaan? Wie gaan?
Who's there?
Wie is daar? Wie is daar?
Why are you late?
Hoekom is jy laat? Hoekom is jy laat?
Yes, I do.
Ja, ek doen. Ja, ek doen.
Yes.
Ja. Ja.
You have good taste.
Jy het goeie smaak. Jy het goeie smaak.
You look gorgeous.
Jy lyk pragtig. Jy lyk pragtig.
Your smile is beautiful.
Jou glimlag is pragtig. Jou glimlag is pragtig.
You're handsome.
Jy is aantreklik. Jy is aantreklik.
You're smart.
Jy is slim. Jy is slim.
You're welcome.
Jy is welkom. Jy is welkom.
Expand your vocabulary with our Core 2000 Words ebook. It's free and packed with essential expressions that you'll use on a daily basis. Start building your vocabulary today. Click the link in the description below to download your free Afrikaans ebook before it's gone.